It's tempting to dive straight in and create a class notebook with all of your lessons and then think of distributing it to the students. The problem with that is if you've just got one notebook and let's say three sets, um, you would have to put every single student from the sets into that one notebook. And again, getting the students out of that notebook is quite a challenge. So I would assume that the best method to do would be to set up some sort of template for it. And maybe a template for all of your classes. So I'm going to go through that sort of process. So I'm going to click on Class Notebook to create a class notebook. Remember, this is a textbook or your lessons. We get these four items which we can come back to at any point. So it says add or remove students, add or remove teachers. I'm not going to do that to begin with. I am just going to create the notebook and do this later. It's going to take me through a sequence of steps to add or remove teachers. I'm just going to ignore it. And when my notebook is created, then I'm going to click on Manage Notebooks to actually go through and do some sort of administration or planning with it. So the first thing I need to do is click on Create a Class Notebook. Obviously you only do this one time to create it. And I'm going to call this just template. So it could be for year 7, 8, 9 and so on. I'm just going to create a blank notebook just called template. Next, these are the sections that are set up for you. We've seen these before. The collaboration space where teachers and students can work together. The content library, which is the equivalent of the shared drive where you're going to put all of your pages, not files. Files will stay in OneDrive. And the area just for the students, and this is the area that we're going to set up. So if we click on next, as I said, we can come back and we can add teachers later. So I'm not going to add them to begin with. I just want a template. I want the same book that I can set up as a template, so I can use it year in, year out without having to start over and over again. Again, I don't want to add the students' names at the moment. Now, these are sort of defaults, class notes, homework, quizzes. You might not want them. You might want to not have handouts, not have class notes, not have quizzes. That's fine. But you may want to set up some more sections. So thinking about it, we could either lay out sections in topics. So topic 1, topic 2. So it could be, if say in geography, reading maps or the weather, or you could set it out in chapters, or even in lessons. You could have lesson 1, lesson 2, giving them names. I'm just giving some ideas here. So you can set it out however you want, but this is what will appear inside the student section. They will have homework, topic 1, topic 2, lesson 1, lesson 2. But you need to mirror this in your own sort of shared drive area to allow the students to copy from one to the other and mirror what you're doing. So this is how the student's book would look. With a welcome, collaboration space and content library. We can change things later. I think we need to scroll down on this one to create a notebook. So this is a teacher's notebook, and we can click up here to see what the student's notebook would look like. Okay, so that's how we see it. And that's how the students see it. And notice that the topics that we put in are sitting here. So if I create that notebook, it shouldn't take a few minutes, but it will take a fair amount of time. You can always add details to your notebook later. So this is what we get once it's been created, and if you choose Manage Notebooks from the first page that we saw, you also get this sort of option to open it in OneNote offline and open it in OneNote online. Again, if you've got Windows 10, you won't need to add this add-in. Now this might look a little bit strange. Why do I need to download an add-in? But if you want to administer your books and you're on Windows 7 or lower, then you need this add-in, otherwise you can't delete students from your books. But if you've got Windows 10 or you're using a Mac, it's automatically there for you. I am on Windows 7, so watch what happens when I click on download the notebook. Okay. I'm surprised it didn't ask me to buy it. It normally asks you to buy something if you're adding things on. Okay. So I'm just going to close that window. So I've downloaded the add-in because I'm on Windows 7. That will enable me to administer my thing. So let's go and take a look. Let's do it online. Now we are looking at it from the teacher point of view, not the student point of view. And really we want to set our notebook up as a template. Best thing to do is just to delete everything that is in the notebook so it's blank. And that's what I'm going to do now. So these are my notebooks, template, computer science. And from the template, I'm going to create sort of year 7, set 1, year 7, set 2, and so forth. So we can delete from the welcome page. If you right click, you can choose delete to get rid of everything. You wouldn't want to do this each and every time you created a class notebook. So by setting up a template, you're stopping yourself doing a lot of work later on. You can always see these pages if you just create a blank notebook. They will always be there for you. So there we go. I'm deleting everything that is in the book. So I've got nothing in the welcome section and the collaboration space. I can delete that section. And in my content library, I've got one section. Using the content library, I'm going to delete that. So there we go. I've set up the basic template for the course. I did set lesson 1, lesson 2, topic 1, topic 2. I could create those in my content library now. I'm not going to bother just at the moment doing that. Because when I set the template up, I probably wouldn't want topics and what have you to begin with. I just want a blank template that I can copy into another template. So that is setting up the template, and we can just close it down. That's our first one. To make it work, all we need to go to is Class Notebook. This time Manage Notebooks. And then we get all of the notebooks available on our front page. And there's quite a lot of notebooks there. As you can see, if you set up more and more notebooks, then this is going to be a bit of a nightmare on sort of scrolling down to the notebook that you want. They don't collapse the sections, so it can be difficult. Anyway, we can make edits here. We can add new sections or delete sections from the notebook. I will show you. You can't delete sections here. You have to open it in OneNote and delete the sections from there. So I could delete this topic 2, 1, lesson 2 and lesson 1 from the notebook so that I can set up an overall notebook for any particular group. So that is creating a notebook to begin with. Let's just click on it to show that we can open it. when I click on the actual file name, I'm asking it to open in OneNote. I really need to click on OneNote online if I want to open it up online, which I shall do at the moment. And there we go, we're at our template ready to go.